Welcome back, dearest listeners, to Season 2 of Queen of Daggers, Heart of Fire, our perhaps no longer experimental Daggerheart actual play podcast. I am here with 4 veteran players and performers. How are you, my lovely poets?
Does veteran mean trauma?
Yes.
We're experienced with trauma.
Yes. David's getting it. He's getting the full experience.
David's a veteran now.
Yeah.
He's had a full season of actual play.
Tour of duty.
A newbie no more.
Oh, don't take away that excuse, please.
I, of course, am Asteria, your slinger of fear, your mistress of games. Here with, let's start with J-Ben. How are you?
Hi, Asteria. I'm great. It's good to be back. I feel so seasoned.
Yes. We are recording this. Season 1 is still airing, but we're getting towards the end. The official release rules are well out. It is shortly before PAX Unplugged, where I will be running Daggerheart tables. Very surreal. Carmela, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I love your tiara.
Thank you. I know it's a bit mixed metaphors, hags and tiaras, but it helps me.
No one
It
says
helps me
that
show
hags
up.
can't have tiaras.
Thank you. I mean, some have tried, and now they're toads. And you're seasoned now, not just an actual play, but as a sound editor.
Yes, that's true.
You've edited every single one of our episodes because I'm evil and I tricked you, I guess, into doing that.
No, it's because you know that I'm an editor and I was available.
Yes, but things weren't expected, and Carmela saved us and did an incredible job.
Thank you. I
And is
appreciate
still
that.
here for some reason. And Katie, how are you?
I'm good. Can I tell you how I've been seasoned
Yes.
now
Yes.
for season 2? I have decided to stop taking handwritten notes and move to to typing my notes per session while we're playing, because oh my God, is everything I wrote down last year completely useless now. I wrote not one single helpful note to myself, and the ones that might have been helpful were illegible.
That's interesting because I'm now realizing that in between seasons I did the other way around, and in all our discussions and check-ins I switched to handwritten notes, and that's why I have 8 notebooks here.
Between the two of us, we'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
And Sir David, you're a traumatized veteran, and your network is struggling as well.
Yes, I shouldn't minimize trauma. I'm far from traumatized. My network I can't speak for, but no,
If OrLeon's not traumatized after all he learned about himself last season, well, OrLeon's he's into the cycles of renewal.
he better be. And I am eager to renew what does not feel seasoned, but does feel like slipping back into a chaotic fever dream that I have grown very much to love.
We should return, all of you, to this chaotic fever dream. To the listener, I will say, whether you're joining us for the first time or not, Season 1, as we said many, many times, perhaps too apologetically, we were using the open playtest rules. And yes, we are now using the officially published rules. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Since we recorded last season, we have been taken in by Talkin' Crit. They are hosting us in their wonderful, wonderful Discord server. We have a fan space there where you can come discuss the show. All of that info, all of the places you can reach us or chat with us about us, that's all available on our website, hagdealgaming.com. And we would love to hear about you and talk to you and know who you are if you're listening. And let me tell you, some days it is hard to put in all this work, and then we get a single comment from someone who likes the show, and it makes it so much easier to come back and do it again. So thank you to everyone who's been keeping us going. And so now, almost exactly a year from when we sat down to record episode 1, the first time we all entered Lacuna together, we return. Harrow Bay glitters, as though it has never known worry or fear. The sun dances on it. The largest body of water in Lacuna. It is the biggest landmark in the capital city of Boreas, but alongside the Harvest Court Palace itself. OrLeon, you know it well as a Borean native, even though your family wasn't involved in the fishing trade. It's anyone in Boreas spends sunny days alongside the wharfs, the piers. Today you admire it from afar above, from a hilltop just outside Boreas, at a simple wooden table. Evelyn sits opposite you, perhaps looking a little bit nervous, as a large, beaten-up metal platter is set between you, with one giant whole roast fish. Your host begins to carve up pieces of it and dishes you out servings on equally beat-up, mismatched plates. OrLeon, could you tell me something that you notice about Evelyn as she tries this Borean delicacy for the first time?
Borean food, contrary to what is often the case in our cities, Boreans don't think of themselves as culturally avant-garde. They see themselves as simple. Urbanity in Boreas is a kind of simple efficiency, a self-admiring, it all works well without complications kind of ethos. And in service of that, Borean food is itself simple. A full fish, a whole fish, simply prepared, grilled, stuffed with herbs. One might see such a thing anywhere. But a true Borean chef is interested not only in the preparation of the food, but the food itself. So the presentation of this fish, it shows its full self, its head, its fins. OrLeon gets the sense that perhaps at Evelyn's conjuries in their, well, he only knows how the food is at Larksong, but he gets the sense that perhaps it was more delicately prepared where she was from. She appears very game in her desire to show her respect for this style of eating, and yet she seems uncomfortable cutting the full flesh, seeing the head, peeling out the bones. Doesn't seem to be her cup of tea, as much as she gamely tries to present herself as deeply appreciative.
Evelyn, there are a million things that could be on your mind right now that you should be doing, you should be working on. There is so much to do, but this fish is in front of you.
Yes. this fish, which is going to take much longer to eat than I anticipated, simply because it's so much work to eat it. I think the bits she does get are delicious and surprising in the simplicity. Evelyn's obviously an overthinker. That hasn't changed between seasons. So when confronted with something so simple in both its preparation and appearance, she is want to wonder when the other shoe will drop about this or whatever. But the fact is, it's not prepared in a way that makes it easy to eat.
What is the most efficient way to
let's get the food on the table, make sure it tastes good, and it does when you get to it, but my God, getting to it. So I think, but none of this is the point. The point is to be here with OrLeon in his home city, experiencing what he grew up experiencing, and to understand OrLeon better because of it. That is she would you're right, there is a list of things that she wants to get done, and none of them are happening here in this place with this food. But on that list, and not at the top of the list, but up there is be a better friend to OrLeon. Be a better friend in general, and this is part of that. So she is gamely picking bones out of her teeth as she eats this fish and smiling and spouting off her observations about the herbs and the preparation and the temperature and the texture and everything, and trying not to look at the eyes of the fish, and delicately like plopping bits of bone onto a plate beside her.
The eyes are certainly uncanny. And OrLeon, perhaps you admire or wonder at the intricacy of the scales, the nature of a fish. It makes you think of recent events, but when a quiet settles over the table, most likely made possible by the bones in Evelyn's teeth. No telepathy is required for you to know what everyone is thinking, that this isn't quite right. Ginny should be here. Ginny, you are quite some distance away, near a road. If it was a road you knew the name of, you don't remember at this point. You have gone far from Hyperion Road at this point, the largest road in the realm. But you are not lost. You watch Lemma as he scrutinizes the strange compass in his hand. It is, of course, not a compass that points north. It points at something very particular. Either of you could use it, but Lemma is the one who has experience with travel and the roads. He tends to wind up with it more often, I suspect, and it gives you time to think. You suspect you're close to what you're looking for, though you don't know exactly who or what you'll find. As you watch him, you can't help but dwell on certain moments from the past few days. When you think of the vision you experienced in the Queen of Harrow's private orchard, the dark desire, according to the Hag Metis, the one that you hide away, that vision of yourself fleeing everyone and everything, running away, disappearing. Now here you are on the road, but not alone. You wonder what it is Lemma saw. It was alarming when he tried to harm himself. He was taken over in a way no one else was when you spoke that word, that name. The name of the exiled Queen of Daggers. Not exiled. Dead. Passion, you said, and everything shifted. You remember grabbing everyone, bringing them through the gate to land safely in Boreas, in the inn where you'd meet Soren. You remember Evelyn rushing to Lemma's side as you lay on the floor. And then he was fine. And then, well, everything else. But as well as he is now, you keep looking for some sign. I assume you haven't shared what you saw. Do you notice any change in him?
He's not talking to himself as much as he used to. Maybe he's gotten so used to having more conversations within his mind than out loud. But Lemma is looking over the compass. I'm afraid I'm going to break it. It's also why I immediately gave the Heart of Fire to Evelyn after everything happened. I didn't want to do anything that would cause more problems. I already opened my big mouth. And the world shifted again.
And now, of course, you think about Evelyn, how much she is working on, shouldering. You think about how, if you were there, you would be fretting over her.
Yeah.
That's OrLeon's job now. Again, you've had time with your thoughts since you've been on the road.
Mm-hmm.
It's been interesting traveling with this company. You're not alone. You're not lonely, but you're not diverted from yourself the way you often have been. And it's hard to deny that if you were back with Evelyn, you would perhaps be ignoring your own thoughts to worry about hers.
That's fair. I've been grateful that no one's been able to see my thoughts.
Lemma, you're holding this compass. It is guiding you towards the book. Great works of a great realm, for specific reasons. One hand had been pointed in the direction Lemma knew to be Boreas. Not because Lemma always knows where Boreas is, but he knew that that hand points at Boreas right now. And the other hand was pointing at what you were looking for. And then all of a sudden, they both froze and then spun lazily, and now it simply points back at you, as it did the very first time you held it, in a way that tells you you have lost your target. It was in the barrel and key that you first held it. It, of course, was loaned to you by a young man named Tristan. Tristan, as I'm sure you all remember, was a young man of various enterprise, good at procuring things that people needed, usually through illegal means. A charming young man who helped obtain often rare books for the rare bookstore in Whitmorn, and whom we were surprised to learn helped Evelyn's mother, Federal Ravenwood, steal a very important book from the Vespertine Contraries, the Academy of poetry, where she had taught for many years as a primer. Phaedra used this art book to seek out a place called the Sallow Ring, where you found yourselves as well. When you arrived at the Barrel and Key, to Tristan and Soren's great surprise, as you arrived via portal, he had already been asking Soren for any kind of help he could provide.
When last we left you, you were not completely in control. Where do you think Lemma is now?
Lemma is on the floor in a heap. Ginny kind of grabbed both me and Evelyn and took us bodily through this portal, essentially. You tell me, is what Lemma was experiencing still happening, or has it vanished?
You certainly feel it. You remember it. And you can do something to end its influence, mechanical or otherwise.
Great.
What would you like to do?
So Lemma, we've all landed in a pile. And Lemma, this urge that he had, this internal command that drew his dagger towards his own arm, it fades. It's no longer an imperative, but he's still in this position. His dagger is still in his hand. His arm is still outstretched, and he doesn't put the dagger down immediately. And he's sort of stiff in that position, this like rictus of tension, and his eyes piercingly connect with Evelyn's. And there's a tense pause.
Evelyn, you're with him in this moment. Reminder that while the listener might have a sense of what Lemma is remembering experiencing, his friends do not.
So, Evelyn, I imagine she has one hand on either arm, like wrist or whatever, and is feeling that sustained tension. Lemma, you tell me if you don't think that that's true, but I believe the last thing she did was try to stop you from cutting yourself. And telepathically, she says, "It's all right. It's all right. We're not there anymore. Can we talk? Can we just talk about this?"
And as you do that, Evelyn, you realize that the telepathy is a little more difficult than it used to be.
Feels a little strained.
Yes.
She files that away for later consideration.
And spends a hope
to maintain it.
And it's not about your connection to Lemma that makes it more difficult.
It's about the connection to the ward.
Yes, so it's something about the ward itself.
Yeah, that's what she's filing away. Something has changed.
Yes.
Look at where we are. We're at the end.
You get back this flash of not the raw, hot anguish that you sensed back in the hag's lair, but something like maybe Evelyn has felt this, the pang of self-hate that you feel thinking about something you did in the past that haunts you, where it happens upon you at a random moment and everything about you tenses, almost like a physical sense of nausea. Lemma is feeling something like that.
So Evelyn attempts to ground you where we are and begins simply reciting what she sees, smells, hears, tastes in her own mouth, the feel of the floor under her knee, how it's rough and solid at the same time, the faint scent of whatever's being cooked in the kitchen downstairs, just trying to bring him to the present and like a mindful, willful dragging you into the present moment. You
slowly feel Lemma relax very gradually, and finally he lets out this long exhaled sigh, hands you the dagger, presents it to you.
She takes it and immediately offers it to Ginny.
And Lemma slumps back and just lies on the floor.
Lovely. And Lemma, you are free of that influence. Please take a stress.
Soren, your most trusted anything. The hostler and groundskeeper of the Lark Song Conjuries, the person who has stuck with you this entire time. He hustles you all over to a table in the back of the inn to make you all sit down and talk to each other. After Lemma is sorted, Tristan revealed he's badly in need of help. He takes out a strange-looking compass. Would anyone like to give me a detail about this compass? Just descriptively? An interesting sound it makes, or visual detail?
The hands look like insect legs.
There's another detail that Lemma always notices, and it's that where a normal compass has this clear liquid water on which the needle rests, this one, it's some kind of oil. It has that iridescence and that languid flow.
OrLeon notices something too. He's not much a man for the road, so he's not super familiar with compasses, but
He's talking
what he does know
primarily
about them,
to-
or thinks he knows about them, is that
to
usually
at first.
it's one dial moving,
But he's sensing that
but
he needs
the hands
approval
move
of the group.
independently on this compass.
He's holding this strange compass with the insect legs, the two hands that move independently. One is currently pointing at him, and the other is pointing elsewhere and moving a bit. Look, I know you don't know me that well, but I think we can help each other. Maybe a lot. You were... That book that I got for your mother. I told you that, this is true, I told you that I just put it down in Eisenbard's bookshop and it got, it was a rare book in a rare bookshop and it just got sold or sent somewhere. You want that book, right? You needed to look at it?
Yes.
I really need that book, too. This is why I was back at Kiva's camp with the Shadowjacks, is I had a feeling she had this compass. It's a thief's compass. It helps you when you've stolen something and it goes missing. It helps you find it again. And he's sitting across from Lemma, hands it to Lemma, and both hands immediately point towards Lemma. You can set it, though. I could set it so that it's looking for my thing. I don't ask questions, you know that. Here, and he takes it and he turns a little dial on it, and when he hands it back to you, it's both hands are pointing elsewhere, out into the world. One of them points at Soren, and then he's like, "What?" It's like, "It's just move. It's just a coincidence." He's like pointing elsewhere in the world. One of them points at the person who took it from you, and the other one points at the place where it is now. If no one took it from you, then it points at you. Maybe we could team up and go look for that book. You could have as much time with it as you want, and then I'll get it back to the people who need it.
Why are you so desperate to have it back?
Do you need to know?
I wouldn't have asked.
You would have.
Well, I think if you're asking us to do a favor, then we should be forthright with one another. This isn't the way to start a partnership.
Sometimes it is.
It's not our way to start a partnership.
Look, I stole the book. Sometimes you bite off more than you can chew. There are some people who figured out it was me. And I got a few options as to who I turn it over to, but I can't really fly on my own anymore.
All right. It seems to me that if these people who want the book are looking for you, you should be making sure they don't find you.
That is part of the next step. And that's part of why I'm asking you all to go find the book. Because I have some low to go lay. To see if I have any favors left to cash in. If it helps, once I fix this, then I'll probably be in some good graces with one kind of powerful person or another. I'm not that in trouble yet. I'm not an albatross, I promise. I could be in a position to be really helpful in a couple ways.
Ever since Lemma came to from his whatever it was, he's been a little bit catatonic. He hasn't said a whole lot. He's been slumped over. And now he sits up straight, looks at Tristan, and really tries to read him. Really tries to intuit, is this total bullshit? Is this person trying to play us? Or is he basically honest? He just needs a partner and he's in way over his head.
Would you please give me some kind of roll?
Yeah. Can we make that an instinct roll with Reader of People, the experience added on?
Yes, of course, spend a hope to use the experience.
All right. I now have 1 hope. And I'm going to roll 2d12, just remembering how this game is played. And that is a 16 with fear.
Yeah, he meets your gaze, blinks a little, like looks surprised that you're, like you startle him a little. He sees you, eyeballing him. And he, as far as you can tell, this is, what he's saying is very on the level and tallies with what you know of him from when you met him at the Shadow Jack camp in terms of, how he deals with dispensing information. He said before that he doesn't generally ask for or volunteer information as a matter of course, if he doesn't believe it's necessary, but not in a malicious way. I don't think you know of him ever having done anything malicious. Yeah, you definitely not full of shit. He seems like he needs your help.
Okay, great. So Lemma stares as deep into Tristan's soul as he can, gets that awareness, and says, fine, we'll help you. You can keep your information, but... And Lemma will use Magic Hand to grab Tristan by the lapels. I want to make it crystal clear, Tristan, that if you screw or inconvenience us in any way, we're going to be upset. And us being upset is becoming a less and less attractive proposition. Do you understand me?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not sure I agree it's less attractive. And then he's like, I'd like you to be upset at my enemies is what I'm trying to say.
Lemma is so done, so he just Magic Hand sort of tosses the lapels back and says, good. And goes back to slouching and eyeballing Tristan.
I know I'm inconveniencing you. I like having allies that are good at things. I like to think that I'm one of those. And I want to make good on my end.
OrLeon is used to, he has spent a lot of time in taverns over his years in Boreas, and he knows the kinds of conversations that happen in them. And he says, we understand, Tristan, that you want us as allies, and as our hot-headed friend Lemma asserted, we are willing to be those for you. But we need just some more information. For example, these people who are looking for you to return the book, what do they want you to do with it? And what will they do to us if they find the book but not you? What will they expect from us regarding the book? We need to understand if you're putting us in danger and what those dangers are.
I spend a fear, and you hear, Ginny, there you are. As Victor, the fond childhood friend from Ginny's hometown, until a few hours ago, a guard at the Harvest Court Palace, until he helped you out and quit, hurries to your table, still in partial uniform, apparently the part of it that they had to supply themselves. You made it. Is everything all right? Did you get what you need?
I think so. Did you have any trouble getting out of the courts, or were you followed?
It didn't occur to me that anyone would follow me.
It's a question I guess have to ask these days.
I mean, everyone was pretty occupied with the Queen leaving, so no one was really paying attention.
The Queen leaving? Harrow's left?
Yes, Her
Or-
Majesty took her boat to, I don't know if it was to Vespertine or to Whitmorn, but
She's gone.
yes, like an hour after I saw you.
Do you know why? I don't know if...
No, sorry.
Well, no, it's totally fine. It's good to know. Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Soren, right, Ginny mentioned you. I think I've seen you here before.
Yeah. Yes. Soren, this is Victor, from Hornspend.
Yes, we're both, he's a regular here. We've seen each other a few times. Good to meet you. You know Ginny, good people, yes. And so now you've got a very full booth. I'm imagining it as a booth in the back.
It's a booth at a TGI Fridays. We're just like in a corner.
But Victor is a little bit agog. And he clocks Tristan with a little confusion. And I guess clocks Lemma with confusion, because when he saw Lemma was in an illusory disguise.
There's a lot to explain. There's a lot to catch you up on. Would you like a drink?
Do you have time for a drink?
I don't know, but if the Queen is no longer in Boreas, maybe we're not in as much trouble as I thought we were in.
Oh, sure, but there's the secretary. And Tristan says, well, you most knows about them?
Yes? Is that a problem?
Says it depends. I mean, she's one of the powers I was talking about.
One of the people that's after you?
Not yet. We had a lovely cup of tea just yesterday. But the Queen's spy master is... I try not to ask questions, and I definitely don't want to know. He wraps the compass back up in the piece of cloth it had been in and pushes it towards you all, and stands up and awkwardly tries to shuffle out past Victor. I think we've But we've come to terms, right? We're all set. Like me, if I stick around, this just gets.
You're saying this compass will help us find the book, yes? What will help us find you?
That's a great question. I guess let's meet back here.
All right. I think it's best if you go.
Great. I can leave messages here if I can't make it back. So.
All right. Don't leave them for anyone by our names. Leave them for Penelope Blacktree.
And just know this. If there is anything that you are not telling us that could make us safer in taking this on for you, our fates, and all results of harms that come to us are on you.
I promise right now, I only know things that can make you less safe. He strides to the bar to say something to the barkeep. Victor looks agitated. You guys took something, right?
It's a long story. Come sit down.
Because you had me help you break into the.
How do you know that?
Private.
No one told you that, though.
No one tells me anything. I'm just trying to figure out if it's okay for you to still be here. Are you staying in Boreas? Do you have a place to?
That's what we're trying to figure out now.
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. Ginny, what's your plan? I just quit my job.
You just quit your job?
Yeah, you guys were kind of the inspiration.
Evelyn looks mildly disappointed.
There's a new captain of the guard who I had not been enjoying. There was no way I was going to violate my oaths and duties as a royal guard and break you into the greenhouse.
No need to say that out loud. We all know what happened.
If I wasn't planning on quitting immediately afterwards.
Probably wise. Do you still have friends in the guard that you could get information from if you had to?
Some, but it depends.
All right. It's good to know. Thank you. And I mean that. Thank you very much for all your help.
It depends on how, because me quitting and then immediately showing right back up and asking questions, that would, even Mariana's amazing.
Wouldn't do anything we would never ask anything of you that would put you in danger. We just need to know what all our options are.
I'm not a coward.
I don't think you were. I don't think you would have helped us if you were.
But there's no point in doing something I know will make things worse.
Yes. And trust your judgment. We have rather a lot to figure out. The four of us, and I think we should be about doing that sooner rather than later. Is there somewhere we can go to discuss this? I think you can all see the past 24 hours is catching up.
And Soren says, OrLeon, you're from here. Do you know?
One place I can think of where I can almost guarantee no one will be. It's a bit of a walk. It's on the outskirts of town. It is what we know in Boreas as the Archive. We might, in other parts of the realm, think of it as a cemetery. It is the place where bodies go to be put in order and out of sight and out of mind. No one in Boreas dwells on such things as loss and grief and death. We move on. And so the very rare person to be found in the archives is usually cast out or some kind of marginal figure in society, which I think it is fair to say we now are. I think we can talk there safely.
Is everyone agreed?
Yes. Let's go.
Victor says, I'll come with you. Ginny, we can talk along the way. If I can help you, I know we haven't talked in years, but let's figure something out.
Victor, there's going to be some things we need to discuss which we simply can't share with you for your own safety. Is that all right?
I hope, yeah. I'm not telling you everything about. I have some private thoughts, probably.
Come on. Let's go.
I just want to do a roll. So you start heading out, and as you do, Evelyn, you feel a hand on your elbow, and you are pulled aside. And Tristan has pulled you behind a partition. Sorry, milady. I promise no mucking about. But there is something I do have to tell you, and it will not make you any safer.
All right, let's have it.
And he whispers something in your ear. We travel through the streets, OrLeon in the lead with Soren just behind him. A sense of curious urgency. You're truly not sure how much you have to hurry, how much threat lurks in these normally threatless streets, these streets that do not understand the concept of threat. Ginny and Victor, you're towards the rear of the group. A reminder that you have not seen each other since you were a child. Victor's a few years older than you.
Yeah, he's about 10 years older than I am.
10, right,
Mhm.
yes. He was just barely an adult. Much like you, he left Horns Bend as soon as he was old enough to. Though not because he was a poet. His grandfather had been a poet. The last hearth poet Horns Bend had had. You don't remember his grandfather, is that correct?
He died even when my nan was young.
What do you remember, if anything, about Victor leaving?
I remember that it was around time for Harvest Festival. And it was weeks before Alexander had been attacked by that wolf. It was time for, matches to be revealed and getting ready for hand fasting ceremonies that usually take place at Harvest. And over the years, the idea of needing poetry had fallen to the wayside. We just moved with the cycle of the seasons, and whatever Harrow saw fit to give us through that cycle was all that was needed. We didn't need anyone to change that. And it could very well be because the town had not seen a poet since Willem died. And the memory of Willem was being slowly scraped away, like, wind wearing down a stone, just eroding. Victor was the youngest in his family and had probably the least amount of exposure to exposed to the history that his grandfather left behind. And that never was comfortable for him. It never sat right with him that a piece of his history was being scrubbed away. He didn't want to be tethered to a place that didn't seem to want him, and definitely didn't want to be matched with someone who didn't have any regard for who Willem was. And so he walked into the Council of Elders and told them as much, and said, if this makes my heart wild, then I will just leave. And that's what he did, and it caused... I was very young. I was 10. I didn't really understand. I had heard about it secondhand from my friend Shauna, who heard it from her mother, who was kind of the town gossip. And that was the last I saw Victor. And then a few weeks later, I had my own kindling, and it became a different sort of scandal.
You're remembering this and remembering that he was gone when all of that happened. See, he's looking at you, choosing his words, maybe trying to read. You're walking through a public place. It's not exactly a time for deep conversation. But he says, I noticed you're not reaching out to any other poets. I mean, that made sense to me, given how we ran into each other.
We didn't know who we could trust. We never went back to the Condries.
Oh,
So we don't even know who to contact here, to be honest, Victor.
yeah. I figured it's not sanctioned conjuries curriculum to break into the Queen's gardens.
I think that's putting it mildly. Can you imagine if, we ever tried to break into Nan's cellar? What would happen to us?
There's a little bit of satisfaction, indication, seeing you guys after all of that, after all the way they talked about my granddad and wild hearts.
Yeah.
It's good knowing that there are hearts too wild for the poets.
Rebels amongst rebels.
Yeah. What they thought was so wild back home is just a different kind of order, right?
Yeah.
Me and the guard, you and the conjuries. And now look at us. Well, look at you. I'm just unemployed.
Well, you never know what's out there.
Or in there. And he looks back over his shoulder at the palace.
It wasn't what I expected either. But honestly, thank you for your help. We couldn't have done what we needed to do without you. So I appreciate it. You didn't have to do that.
I know. That's what made it fun. By now, you're all, you've turned a corner and you've come along the bay. You're heading to the outskirts of town, but most popular inns and taverns, the Barrel and Key was pretty near the bay. And so this is by far the fastest way to get to the archives. The smell hits you, the salt water and the fish being pulled out of boats and nets. There's a breeze that carries it all right into your faces. Heavy scent of fish. Not Tristan. He's not there. Victor says something about, I guess you don't know what's in the bay either all the time.
Smells like fish.
That's fair. That's... She's clever. Your friend is clever.
You have no idea.
I want everyone to make a roll or just OrLeon. So probably instinct.
I'm going to say Evelyn is too distracted.
It's something that at least OrLeon would get advantage on as a Barayan, but...
Well, OrLeon's the one leading the way.
And as a nature person, and it's nature-y. Actually, yeah, OrLeon roll. Please, sorry.
So I'm just sort of scanning, and am I basically scanning the environment for the unusual, comparing it to what I know of Boreas, trying to see what's out of the ordinary, take stock of, what's going on.
Yeah, and something catches your eye, basically. If you could give me, unless you utterly fail this, but if you could give me a perceive or a sense, this would be an instinct roll for you, no question.
Yeah. Yeah. Would Boreas Merchant class help?
No.
Okay.
But I'm giving you advantage for being, like, you can add a d6 just because you're from Boreas and you're a nature guy. So you just, like, you get an OrLeon bonus. You get an everything about you bonus.
I rolled a 10 with hope, plus the advantage die is a 5, so that's a 15 with hope, and then plus 3 for my instinct becomes an 18 with hope.
That's great. Take the hope, of course. So you stop, and at first you look up. We had spoken about the sky in Boreas, especially as it refracted many colors over the palace, as it interacted with the Caudal Ward, the miraculous magical force that the twin queens, Rain and Harrows, had erected the beginning of history to protect the realm from monsters and the forces of fear. And something looks different in the sky right now. You see a pattern very much like a spider or a crack that seems like a shadow. Let's see, an 18 with hope. 18 with hope. Yes, and actually, this is extra appropriate for you. I think I'll just give you the full thought. Because when you were talking with Metis the Hag down below the palace, OrLeon was particularly struck by his experience being affected more and less by the ward, seeing Metis through the lens of fear and not through the lens of fear, and not being able to say which form was truer than the other. OrLeon had very much a mind-opening and mind-troubling experience of how non-poets experience the ward, and he remembers something. You remember something that Mantua told you days ago. It feels like a million years ago. It feels like exactly 1 year ago that she last told you something she's often said, that mortal minds reach for the words they know. All the times people, yourself included, have referred to the ward as above, as up there, as a ceiling. Even Metis did. She talked about how the ward was higher here or heavier here down in this chamber where she was trapped. You remember that is not literal. It's a metaphor to help you wrap your mind around the ward. Primer Mantua told you it's not darkness. It's not a physical thing. It is something that you don't have access to. And what that makes you do is look down at the bay. Something is being cast up onto the sky. The ward is everywhere. It is in the sky. It is in the bay. Lemma, Evelyn, no roles required. Evelyn, you are currently holding the Heart of Fire. The Heart of Fire, which we have barely mentioned this whole session. The incredibly important artifact that you have taken from the Queen's Palace.
So we're trying to be discreet.
Yeah, well, that's why I wasn't mentioning it. But
Victor said it like 30 times.
Victor didn't know what you took.
He knows we shouldn't have taken anything.
I didn't tell him.
The iron heart with the motes of chaos flying around it in that bell jar. You feel the motes pinging against the glass. Lemma, what do you feel?
Lemma feels like he's cracking a little bit. Lemma has only a few times in his life felt this sensation of something happening to him totally beyond his control. The total removal of his judgment of the situation, his thoughts about what was right. This what he experienced in Metis's lair felt like madness, and it also felt like something he really, really wanted in a way that terrifies him. And he is, I think normally when the others look at Lemma, he's very still and stoic and sometimes vibrating with tension, sometimes rigid, but he looks tired, he's slouching, and you see he is scrutable in a way that you're not used to. You don't know what you're scruting, but you're scruting something, and that's odd.
Lemma, Evelyn, any of you who think this might apply, your eyes are drawn to the horizon on the far side of the bay. For the first time, it seems wrong. Something is odd about it. You understand what a horizon is, but you feel it, object, resist. You agree. Katie.
Feeling that and noticing that Lemma is suddenly scrutable, attempts to reestablish the telepathic bond that they've often had and meets resistance. But she knows it isn't coming from Lemma. She feels it coming from the ward. She spends a hope to do this.
Does she say anything or just open the channel?
She opens the channel and says she was going to say, "Are you all right?" But then looked to the horizon and felt this change. "Something's different," she says.
And I'm going to award you that hope back again for that storytelling.
Thank you.
As you open the connection to Lemma, you hear almost like a musical round, different voices speaking in concert, all Lemma's voice, but all working through something, all in dissonant harmony, so that you can't pick out anything that's said. And a second after the connection is made, all of them stop, and you hear him think, "Yes?"
You feel it too. You feel the difference.
He nods. "Yes, something is seriously changed."
Fourth name was said.
How do you feel?
How does she feel?
Since you hesitate, something else is going to happen before you can respond. You see coming from the horizon, like almost as though natural, like a tsunami, a huge misshapen wave, like the bay is expanding from the distance, and it swells up into the bay. A giant wave the size, at first, of a house, and at its crest it grows upwards. It roars. It is not a wave, it is something living, something very emotional, and a few things are going to happen. First of all, while you're in this area for the time being, anytime you roll duality dice, you use a d20 for your fear die. Now I'm going to spend a fear, and you feel the ground beneath you and all around you shake. The buildings shake. Rubble starts to fall. A crack even appears in the pavement. I'm getting a D6 out and starting a countdown. And I need everyone to make an agility reaction roll.
Question.
Yes.
Victor and I suppose, have Caprine leap. We can leap anywhere within close range as though you were using normal movement, allowing you to vault obstacles, jump across gaps, or scale barriers with ease.
Then I'm going to have you both hold your reaction.
Okay.
I will say that is great.
I figured as much. If there's going to be, if the earth is about to open up.
And the second die on this roll, the fear die, is a d20.
Yes. So your hope die is normal D12, but the fear die is D20.
25 with fear.
I will take the fear.
24 with fear.
This is great. You guys are getting such high numbers.
And when I roll with fear, I get to take a token on time. I know the tide.
Yeah, 13 with hope, but I also have an ability that can get me out of there.
I'm going to burn a paradise out of 4 to your roll, Evelyn.
Oh, thank you.
So now it's a 17 with hope.
And the countdown goes down by 3, but no one fails because it was a DC 16. None of you are thrown. You're all still together. I will spend another fear. I'm rolling a D4. And 2 figures appear on the docks, on the wharfs.
Is it possible to tell, like, is there a place of safety to run to? Or leap to, if you're a fawn?
It is not clear that there is a place in this area that you could stay to avoid the earth shaking, if that's what you mean.
Is there a roof of something?
Yes, the buildings are, there are buildings that are not very tall.
How far away are they? What are they moving with alacrity? How far away are they?
They're not strolling. They've just appeared. You could do a roll to clock them.
Okay, before I do that, can you tell me how far away we're talking?
Yes.
I.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. I'd send up the magic eye. Is that what it's called? The floating eye.
What?
He's going to do the eye thing.
They're both definitely within far distance.
Spend a hope to cast floating eye. So sending my small floating orb anywhere up to very far range.
Like the basics you would see without a roll are that they appear spectral. They seem like perhaps the ghosts of humans. They look a bit soldier-like, or whether they're soldiers or fisher folk, it's not clear. They look like boat folk. If you want to know more about their intents, you need a roll. You need an instinct roll.
Okay, so 12 with fear plus 3, so 15 with fear.
If that doesn't succeed, let me know.
It does not succeed.
Add a 3.
That does succeed.
Okay. I'm down to 1 prayer dice.
And I've advanced the countdown by 1. You can now tell you blink your floating eye, and now you see that very clearly, and this is very much in tune with your train of thought about everything you've been thinking and processing about the ward this very day. Everything with the cherry visions and what you've just told us about the archives and with people pushing thoughts away and hiding things. These are not from elsewhere. These are memories that Boreans have forced away of the dead. They have reemerged and they are replaying their likely violent deaths.
I just want to relate to the party that they're, from what I can see, they're in their own pain of their deaths. They're shades or reanimated. I can't tell if they're material or not. And I can't tell if I can't tell, for example, if they see us or anything, right? Do they seem like they're wrapped up in their own world? Wrapped up in their own reality?
They see people, whether they are, like they might see you as like an enemy or something, but they they perceive. Katie.
Do other people perceive them that are not poets? Does Victor see them? Does
Yes.
Doris see them? Do people on the street?
Yes, I should have mentioned that. People are screaming. That started with the greater water elemental. You hear the screams of the people who are very freaked out by all of this. Gasps of confusion and shock add to that with the appearance of these ghosts. This strange wave of water is a monster. These ghosts are uncanny. These ghosts are upsetting to the people around you in a deeper way. There's only 2 of them. It's not that these, it's not the memory of every single person here. You don't know if they're the memories of any person who is here or anyone still alive even. These are things that Bereans aren't supposed to see, and Bereans are experiencing them. Yes, David, you're very correct that they are not fully substantial. Would anyone else like to do anything?
Is it within very far range?
You're like on the boardwalk.
Evelyn hurls a fireball at the bay.
What could possibly go wrong?
Be a nice sauna in Boreas tonight.
And I know what I'm gonna want to do.
You'll be shocked to learn what stat block I'm using for Sentient Harrow Bay.
Yes, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it's not at all a greater water elemental. But we'll learn something.
It lists no resistances.
Really?
Okay, so that is a reaction roll, not an attack roll, correct?
I have to make a spellcast roll first and hit DC 13, which I do with no problem with a 19 on my fear die. So that's unsurprisingly rolled with fear. 23 plus 3 is 26 with fear. Then it makes a reaction roll, DC 13. Please fail it.
It did in fact fail.
I just rolled a natural 20 on the first damage roll. And an 8. So 28 plus 5, 33 damage.
Good spell is good.
23?
33.
33. That is the severe threshold is 34. Thank God.
Damn it.
Uh,
Paralela. That doesn't matter. You need a different target.
I actually can't. So, fun fact for the listener, even if I wanted to use Paralela, I can't because it takes 2 hope, and we're rolling with fear all the time.
That's right.
which I appreciate. But you're succeeding so much.
That did not cost me a hope, at least. Is the bay surprised?
Yeah. The bay is surprised. The bay is surprised.
But the ghost should take it as well.
It was 33. I'm just going to say that one of them is toast. One of them is gone. The other one is unhappy. Steam rises and encircles you all. It is extremely dramatic. You all have cover to take a free movement and place yourselves wherever you want. So you can move right now if you want to get closer or further.
I want to get farther.
I want to get closer, and I also there's something else I want to do.
Well, I will be doing something, but closer to the edge of the bay or to one of the ghosts, or both.
Just closer. Basically, trying to put myself between the bay and everyone else.
Okay, great. You take front line.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'm just gonna smack the bay with my axe. I don't know. But I do have a question because there is something else I want.
Okay, please ask.
You said there's civilians around us that are screaming.
Oh yeah.
I want to turn to Victor and Soren and tell them to try and start corralling people away from the docks and away from the bay. Like whatever they need to do, like threaten them, shout at them, tell them to get away, to try to get as many people away from the docks.
All right, and if we get separated, meet at the archives.
Yes, just please be careful, but go.
You told me where it is. I think I can find that.
Okay.
Victor knows the city too, so just stay alive and meet up.
You too.
To be clear, is your intent that to remove both of them from any combat, but also to not have to worry about the civilians?
I don't want to not worry about civilians. I want them to try and clear as many people out as possible.
Yeah.
If they decide that they don't want to wander too far off, that's their decision.
That's how I'll occupy them unless you request otherwise. But I won't like disappear them unless something happens. But they're still around. Any other movement or talk?
So, sorry, it's in it's in far range or very far range?
What it?
The bay, the water, I guess. Yeah.
No, the bay is close.
It's close. Okay.
Yeah, the bay is large enough that it's always close.
Just to clarify, this is we either move or we say something. Those are the choices.
No, you can always talk.
Okay.
Pretty much, unless I'm talking.
Lemma is going to turn to the group, and for the first time since we came out of Metis' lair, there's a smile on his face. It's a weird smile. It's the smile that you see on someone who is like gritting their teeth through they're like riding the stress. Maybe someone who hasn't slept in a few days, who's like, we're having a good time, aren't we? And he says, my friends, I believe us entirely capable of overcoming our own questionable decisions. And he leaps off to the side of the street and starts kind of like darting through the doorways towards the ghosts. I mean that to be a rallying cry, by the way.
I figured.
All right, I'll allow it.
Our questionable decisions. Yeah, well.
Is that an action? Whatever.
It's not classified as, it just says once per session, describe how you rally the party.
Okay.
And I've literally done that.
Cue the apocalypse.
And just as a reminder, that's just a floating D6 we can use one time today. Love it.
That's just a nice little D6 you can use anytime you want. Yeah.
Good, because I've already burned 2 prayer dice, so.
My countdown has ticked down because you have rolled with fear enough times. And from the steam, and you imagine from the water below it, you see clawed reptilian feet appear on the dock and pull themselves up to face you. By face, I mean faces. 3 faces. An amphibious hydra pulls itself onto the boardwalk and roars. A strange, raspy roar from all 3 of its throats.
Cool.
And before anything else happens, you see on the seawall at the edge of the pier something initially small. But Ginny, your attention is drawn immediately to the glint on the armor as Mariana, the first poet, the Shield of Boreas, has been drawn to the situation. She is standing athwart the seawall that lines the far end of the bay, which perhaps you, Ginny, definitely you, OrLeon, would know that this structure is, the story goes, the remnants of an old fort that was mostly destroyed millennia ago when Mariana became the first poet. What you see now, Ginny, and I'm going to come to the others in a moment. You see Mariana in her armor, empty-handed, run and leap off of this wall farther than even you as a fawn thought yourself capable of leaping. You see the ward, or you see something at first, just shadow and light refract, and the ward, does it lift? Does it tear? You swear you see Mariana grab something from the sky or the water and pull it. And she now has wings. 2 glorious wings coming out of her back. And what you alone see, Ginny, is 17-year-old Mariana, the human, from centuries ago, with some sort of fishing implement in her hand, doing exactly this. As the Caudal Ward was beginning to form, while the queens were making it, and Mariana grabbing onto it and making herself the first poet to protect her home. You blink again, and she's the Mariana you know now, and she is hurtling towards the bay monster. Could someone else tell me something they see in her and what it stimulates in your own poetry? What it awakens?
I think for Lemma, he can't know what's going on inside Mariana's head or inside her poetry, but to him, it's just such uncomplicated power. It's the use of something without agonizing over what's good, what's right. The decision to do a good thing is immediate, and the power follows. And he yearns for that. He wants very badly that immediate leap from impulse to action that he sees in Mariana's jump towards this creature.
What resonates with OrLeon and his power?
It was the way in which almost as if they were already there, but she reached beyond perception and pulled them back through this wall of perception. And OrLeon, who has, of course, over these days been growing not only deeper in his tangible relationship to the ward, but that the relationship is embodied, that the ward is in its own way material and can be touched and worked with and antagonized and pulled and stretched. That is resonating more and more deeply with him since his earlier sense of it went through kind of imagination. It was almost a disembodied. He had to disembody to communicate through the ward with Cosmene, but it is growing more embodied.
Katie, what is Evelyn seeing and experiencing?
I think Evelyn sees this display and thinks, why don't we learn that at the Conjuries? I think she sees the inadequacy of the education that they received and the thing to aspire to, which has always been missing. That, because I think deep down, Evelyn doesn't believe there is anything that she can't figure out how to do with the power, and that just proved it. So I think she's inspired by what she just saw and, is tucking away the pieces and bits that she could understand and to figure out, I need to use that to figure out how to do that myself. She's cataloging it without even processing it. But she feels this surge of hope also because oh, good, an adult is here now, but that, I think that's awesome in the true sense of the word for Evelyn.
Ginny.
This is where we find out that Evelyn is going to multi-class into Seraph, so she can be a winged sentinel. I'm like, I know that. I know what she's doing. Hang on. Because that's the subclass I didn't pick. Ginny feels like she's on fire. And it's not painful. It's a rush of energy that she feels come up from the ground through her hooves and into her body. Ginny knows that she can't fly, but she wonders what she could do to protect the people around her and can't wait to find out.
As all this happens, at once she makes contact with the wave with some weapon that you know she didn't have in her hand a moment ago. And you all feel your power growing and shifting. Your fear dice are back to D12s. That effect is over. And you all get an attack on this Hydra. Sorry, and one of the ghosts is still there. You all get an attack.
Ooh, I would love to attack, please.
Yes, go. Please, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go get him, Ginny.
That is a 20 with hope on the Hydra.
That will hit.
Awesome. And so 2d plus 5 plus 3. So that is 11, 16, 19 damage. And then I would also like to mark a stress and kick this thing and do another 2d6 plus 3. So that's another 10 damage. So what I say?
Let me just double check with thresholds.
So is it 27 altogether?
Fantastic. We're all like, we have not fought in a while.
Were those the same attack roll?
Yeah. So the way kick works is when you succeed on an attack against a target within melee range, you can mark a stress to kick yourself off of them, dealing an extra 2d6 damage, knocking either yourself or the target back to very close. So basically, I hit it and then kicked off of it.
So what was the total of the 2 damage rolls?
So 27 altogether. No, 29, because I did 19 damage, right? No. What did I do? Hang on. 11. I still have my d8s up. 29, because I did 11 plus 8, so. And then 10 for the d6s, so 29 damage altogether.
That is a major. No, I'm sorry. That is a severe.
Woo.
So it loses a head.
Nice.
It is now a 2-headed Hydra.
I have an attack I'd like to do.
Yes, please.
OrLeon understands that things that come from the elements are they are most powerfully used against each other, and so seeing this Hydra as a sea creature, he wants to use his connection to the land to attack it. So he's going to I'm going to mark a stress and use a spell called Towering Stalk. Through which, once per rest, I can conjure a thick, twisting stalk within close range that can be easily climbed. Its height can grow up to far range. But I can mark a stress instead to use this spell as an attack, making a spellcast roll against an adversary or group of adversaries within close range. The erupting stalk lifts its target you succeed against into the air and drops them, dealing D8 of physical damage using my proficiency. And I got a 22 with hope. Plus 3 makes it I don't need the rally die. Plus 3, a 22 with hope, so that's 25. 25 with hope.
So you push this big beanstalk comes out of the ground and like pushes the Hydra up in the air. Is that the idea, that it falls
and drops it in very far range? So I want to push it back towards the sea. Actually, I don't know. Is it better to push it on? Do you think a Hydra can survive on land? Is it better to push it? No, because on the land, it'll go more towards people. We should push it back into the sea.
I think we want it to take as much falling damage as possible, if that's a thing in Daggerheart.
Yeah, but we don't want to go straight up because then it falls on us. Oh, but it won't take as much damage if it falls on the water.
You can drop it within far range. I am going to say that if you drop it in the water, you won't know what happens to it. If you would like to use your action to figure that out,
just drop it just off to the right of us.
No, maybe we should try to drop it on some rocks. Are there any big rocks along the shore?
Drop it on the ghost.
Drop it on the ghosts. Great idea. Okay.
if you drop it on the ghost, I won't make you roll to hit the ghost. You can do damage on both. But I am gonna make you choose in 3 seconds. You have to decide in 3 seconds, or you lose your turn.
For the good of the many, OrLeon, for the good of the many, do it. Drop it on the ghost. Do it.
I mean, OrLeon has a lot of affection for ghosts.
One.
It's not his
2,
I'll make it up to you later.
3.
drop on the ghost.
All right, roll your 2d8 damage.
2D. That was the most stressful thing that's happened to me in this entire campaign, was you making me make a decision in 3 seconds. Okay, 2d8. First d8 is 7 and a 3, 10.
10, and that is physical damage. So, yeah, that's a minor for the Hydra. Does not do quite as much damage to the ghost, it being a ghost, but yeah, neither of them like that. And you see the Hydra on its back with its, you rolled with hope, right? With its legs kicking up in the air, and its 2 current heads are wailing, and it's got a ghost standing up in it, like the ghost is through it, hunched over, and they're both so confused. Who would like to go next? Yeah.
It's like a stuffed calamari.
The ghost is standing in the Hydra, which is on its back. How close is Ginny?
To where?
What's your position in relation to this Hydra ghost situation?
Well, I was in front of it until a stalk came out of nowhere and pushed it away. So where am I now in relation to the dock, Asteria?
How close do you want to be to it?
However close I need to be for whatever Lemma's about to do.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like I just want to paint a picture.
Without any metaing, I'm gonna say it's only logical that I think Ginny was near, and she backed up because a stalk just erupted. So she's close, but she's maybe even very close, but she's not melee. She had to. She stumbled a few steps back from all of this mess.
Lemma darts out. He's been kind of hiding behind a stoop, darting between doorways. He darts out. He zips past Ginny towards the Hydra, right up to a position between these 2 flailing heads on the ground. He rears back. Some unintelligible chorus of words comes out of his mouth. Evelyn might recognize it as having a flavor of what she heard when she first entered his head, like it is more than one of his voices composing poetry at once. A circle of bright white light expands from a position in front of him. All around in a circle, there is a crack. And this is Rune Circle, is the name of the power. Mark a stress to create a temporary magical circle on the ground where you stand. All adversaries within melee range or who enter melee range take 2d12 plus 4 magic damage and are knocked back to very close range. So the effect that I hope this to have is to basically tetherball this Hydra's heads away from me.
Okay. I just want to say what Ginny's thinking in this moment. Ginny, who has no concept of what attraction is like, that's the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life, and doesn't know what to do with that information, and just like, okay.
Evelyn is right there with you.
You can turn up with us anytime, Lemma.
Oh no, yeah, this is erasing the turnip joke.
This erases the turnip
counterpoint
pun.
to turnip, so everything's back to even.
Is it auto success? You just roll damage?
It just says all adversaries take damage.
I would have to rule this as this flailing Hydra is obviously.
So that is going to be 16 magic damage.
And does it get both of them?
It gets, so if they are separate enemies, yes, it all adversaries within melee range.
Tell me again the total.
It came to 16, and I'm actually going to throw a rally die on that. 17.
Thank you. 17. Magic.
Do I even need to attack it?
Give me a sec. This spectral captain is hardy.
Yeah, not loving him.
I guess I don't know if this hits the spectral captain. I think if he's in melee, I leave this up to you.
Let's say it does. The Hydra is hit and dazed, which has, well, you'll see.
The other piece of this that I just want to emphasize is that this is a lingering effect. So the all adversaries who are within or who enter just take the damage and are knocked back. So no one can get to within very close of me who's an adversary.
Oh, I forgot about getting knocked back. So it's no longer in the
Correct.
runic circle. Or rune ward. It's around your feet, but you were right up in their faces. And it's, give me the wording again of how it was knocked.
Yeah, all adversaries within melee or who enter melee are knocked back to very close.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah. The flailing stops, and it's now just more of a like lolling.
I mean, unless we want to talk to it, I'm gonna blast it with my great staff.
Talk to the Hydra?
Yeah, like unless we're taking it prisoner and going to question it.
Yeah, no. I will tell you now that neither of these seem intelligent in the linguistic sense.
Great. Then Evelyn will take her free attack with the great staff. 19 with hope.
And this is on who?
The Hydra. You specifically said we all got a free attack on the Hydra.
Right. Yes.
So that's what I'm doing. So 19 with hope.
That hits.
For should I use my rally die on the damage? Yeah, why not? For 13 magic damage.
It is currently immune to magic damage while dazed.
It's immune to magic! Evelyn yells out, hopefully.
Asteria, I'm sure you have something that you're going to do.
Did you all take an attack?
Mm-hmm. Everyone took an attack.
Did OrLeon after the
I
stalk?
think the stalk was my attack, no?
Yeah, but then I said you all get an attack after the. If you just want to whack, you get a free whack on it.
Okay, well, yeah. Then can I do something or?
Yeah.
Okay.
After it was dazed, you can whack it. It doesn't have to be a whack, but that's to give you an idea.
I see Mariana out of the corner of my eye, and I look down, and I have her shield in my hand, and I would like to use Spirit Weapon, which is part of my subclass, and I've never used it. When you have an equipped weapon with a range of melee or very close, it can fly from your hand and attack an adversary within close range and then return to you. You can mark a stress to target an additional adversary within range with the same attack roll. I would like to throw my shield at, I would like to Captain America this, please. I would like to throw my shield at the Hydra and also have it hit the Ghost Captain if I mark a stress. So I would like to do that, please.
Bring it. Bring it.
19, no, excuse me, a 20 with fear. But I would like to use my boon, if I can, my fearless boon. When you roll with fear, you mark 2 stress and change it to a roll with hope instead, because I need some hope. Right. So I'm gonna mark a lot of stress here, folks. So that's 2 for that, and I get to take a hope. And then I mark another hope for hitting the for trying to hit the captain as well. So that's a 20 with hope. Does that hit?
Yes, it hits both of them. And dearest listeners, this is a boon Ginny received for how many times she has resisted the corrupting influence of dead fear queens, etc.
All right, that's a 9 plus 5. 14 damage to both. Physical damage. My shield does physical damage.
Great.
So I was like, hope this works.
The Hydra's down to 1 head. And let's see what the Spectral Captain's up to. 15. And that is it for the Spectral Captain. Which do you hit first? Just for flavor. Let's bounce it off the
Yeah,
Hydra
no, that-
because the Hydra's actually
Yeah,
physical.
no,
so
that is
that
what I'm
makes a
going to
little
do.
more-
It's what I was going to do. Hang on.
Sorry.
By the way, I'm
I'm
throwing this
getting excited too.
left-handed because that's where my shield is. And I whip it across. I have no idea why I even thought this was going to work. And it hits the remaining Hydra head on like just the broad side of its face and bounces and then goes straight through the captain, hits the dock, bounces, and then comes back to me.
Amazing. I'm going to spend a fear to take a GM. You've not failed a roll or rolled with fear, which is annoying. So I have to spend a fear to take a GM move. And I can now spotlight the Hydra, and I can use that spotlight to end this condition, which would otherwise have ended on a fear roll. But then it can't attack. Normally, I could spotlight it more times in a turn, the number of times as it has heads. But you took 2 of its heads, so now it only has 1 head.
Sorry, not sorry.
You see this ghost dispel as it stands in the middle of this dazed amphibian that you've deprived of its heads, and Mariana versus the Bay are in full view. She is grappling with it. She is subduing it. And the thing that you see clearly, and in this moment where there's no immediate attack coming at you, Evelyn, you can tell that the pinging is still happening within the glass of the Heart of Fire. Those motes of madness are still excited, agitated. This rupture, this wound is still there, somewhere in the horizon or the bay. So there could be another quake about to happen, but rather than me taking some sort of attack, I'm going to ask you all to do something together about the larger situation. To take a moment and think, and maybe it's a tag team role, or maybe it's not a role at all. But do you help Mariana? Do you do something else? You could finish off this Hydra, but
OrLeon, can you counterspell the bay?
It's a great question. Is the bay, is that a spell? Is that what an elemental is?
no. But I mean, there's certainly an effect happening. Maybe perhaps the whatever's allowing the bay to behave. I was going to say like this, to behave at all. It's possible.
So, I mean, the 2 things that I was thinking I could do that, or I could do Unleash Chaos, which I also thought could be helpful in the sense, the way I was thinking about it is that in order for a bay to behave in this organized fashion, something needs to be counteracting the natural entropy of matter, right? Like water shouldn't be organizing itself like this. It shouldn't have this kind of force. It should be chaotic. So unleashing chaos on it could dispel dispel whatever this force that's pulling it together and turning it into a kind of material attack. So those are the 2 thoughts I have. But what do you guys think is better? I have to pull counterspell back out of I vaulted it to bring Towering Stalker, but that's okay. I can spend a stress to do it.
I like the Unleash Chaos angle.
Unleash Chaos I have up to 3 tokens, so I can get up to 3. I can do up to 3 d10s of, I guess that's magical damage, plus a rally die. I don't know if there's ways to, if Parallelo or anything else like that might be helpful to make it a group.
Yeah, I was gonna pitch that because this does look like a great.
Yeah, and you can totally pitch something not like rules as written. Sorry, J-Ben, you were going to say.
Let's rule of cool this.
Yes, that's really what I'm asking for.
Lemma and OrLeon lock eyes, nod to each other, and Lemma leaves the circle, and his hand face inward, flips them outward really quickly, and something tears a little bit in the space between them. And OrLeon, you feel hearing the same words in sync but just out. Like there's a repeat with the tiniest of delays.
Emboldened by that, OrLeon has this moment of eye contact with Lemma, understands that Lemma is doing something. Lemma, who is so full of mystery, and OrLeon trusts completely in the potency of that, of their synchronicity, and thinks about how cruel to nature it is to turn it into a force for deliberate, organized violence, rather than allowing it its natural state of chaotic glory. Unleashes an anger at the Lacunan civilization's quelling of chaos, hubristic organization, and unleashes it at the Bay, which he loves so much. He is unleashing chaos as an act of love for the Bay.
You are preparing all this and summoning all this, and as it's welling up in you, you think the word glory, and you realize that this is the Bay that made you, where you and Glory, the Queen of Bones, trapped in a strange death exile, where you unwittingly, as a very small child, used her power to save your own life and perhaps create Cosmene, or vice versa. This Bay is the source of your own unfathomable miracle. And you remember what Metis said about the Heart of Fire, which is right here, that it's easier to use it to create than destroy, that was its purpose. And you are here with your friends, drawing from their power, as you are filled with the sense that what you are doing, even in unleashing chaos, you are creating. It jolts out of you and into you. You become a cycle with this Bay creature, and the part of you that is a healer finds the rift in the ward. Something in you, a hand much like the magical hand you've seen Lemma use at least once, reaches into perception, as Mariana did, to pull out wings. You reach that way, and you lay a hand on this crack, and you stroke it apologetically. You don't want to imprison any power, but you know this is not the way. This is not the reunion that honors chance and fear and glory. And you feel a rumbling, and you hear in your heart, "Gift giver, I thought you'd forsaken me." And the voice is warm like blood. It wraps around you like a shroud. It is the hug of bones. You feel your skin hugging your body. And then you open the eyes you hadn't realized you'd closed, and the Bay is calm. Mariana hovers over the center of it. She looks at you, and she flies away. Lemma, you're remembering this moment of connection as the compass points towards you in your hand. You're without Evelyn and OrLeon, but Ginny and Victor are with you. And you know that you were close. You had a feeling. The compass has lost its target, but you think maybe if you could press on, you can find something. Perhaps remembering Mariana's leap, her certainty that you so admired. Lemma, what do you do or say?
Lemma takes note of the direction the compass needle was last pointing. He points a toe and etches an arrow into the dirt. And then, with magic hand, he holds the compass in place, turns, and goes to Ginny. So the compass is now just floating there. And he says to Ginny and Victor, "The device lost the trail, but it was last pointing in this direction. I think our best move is to forge ahead and see if we can find a clue. If the trail went cold just now, we still have a chance of finding out what happened. We should move immediately."
I can kind of follow behind a ways in case there's trouble.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I trust Lemma's judgment.
I'm sure. I just don't like the idea that, what could have happened that made it suddenly. But you two are the poets.
That's what they tell us.
So he drops back, and anything you'd like to do before you head on is welcome.
Looking ahead from the arrow, I think Lemma would have a map. He grew up traveling the road.
Oh, yes.
He understands you need to know where you are. Does he know what lies ahead on the road or in the direction where the arrow is pointing?
This is, you're heading off the road. It's
Okay.
towards, I'd say, a lightly wooded area. It's, you're not in an area you know much about in truly the most neutral way possible. Like you specifically, it's not a dangerous area. It's an area that your Elegist community would have considered generally safe to travel. It's the kind of area that you're sure you passed through as a child, but you wouldn't want to travel it alone. But not, bandits move, so do animals.
Right.
And it's unusual times.
Right. So just a long stretch of empty road, light forest.
Yes, and you are veering off the road into the forested part.
Lemma leans into Ginny and says, "I'll take the lead, and if anything stabs me, kick it."
I think I can handle that.
And you get another one of those weird, tense smiles from him. And he crouches and smoothly darts off into the grass.
I try to keep up as much as possible.
Are you moving sneakily or anything like that?
I think we're going for not absolute stealth, but like a quiet, smooth.
Threading the needle, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know how close you are, so you're not going to creepy crawl.
Right. A rapid half crouch.
Perfect. Can you give me a general finesse or agility or presence roll, whichever you prefer?
15 with fear.
9 with fear.
And if you haven't used your rally die...
Oh, wait. I still have a rally die. hang on. It's actually it is a 13 with fear.
Great. I'm going to spend one of those fear. So you advance forward a few minutes. You are vaguely aware of Victor about 30 feet behind you. He's being very quiet, but you're reassured that he's there. After a little ways, you spot a fairly sheltered, but not stealthily hidden, little campfire. Just a little glimmer of light, a little smoke. And as you proceed carefully, you're not even that close yet. You can't see who's at the campfire, if anyone, how many people. And you both freeze. You are restrained, magically tethered, if you will, by someone powerful enough to do that to both of you at once. You hear a bit of crunching of boots on the pebbles and leaves. as someone holding up a lantern approaches, and Primer Cathania regards you with alarm. Genevieve, Lemma, what in madness name are you doing out here? And Lemma, why on earth does Evelyn's father think you robbed the Vespertine Library? And she waves her hand, and you are unrestrained. And that is where we will leave this first session of Season 2 of Queen of Daggers, Heart of Fire.
Incredible.
Thank you for listening to Queen of Daggers, Heart of Fire, a production of Hagdeal Gaming. If you like what we're doing here, come say hi on Blue Sky or TikTok at Hagdeal Gaming. Leave us a review. We'd love to know what you think. And remember, as a wise person once said,
My friends, I believe us entirely capable of overcoming our own questionable decisions.